All right. Hey, y'all, I'm laying down. So today's topic is going to be about orphaned magical practitioners. What do I mean by orphaned magical practitioners? Magic practitioners are just people who practice magic. Orphan meaning not having deceased and or parents abandoning you at a young age, which is in my case. My parents, my dad abandoned me. My mom died when I was 6 months old. So growing up without those structures, not gonna lie, and don't let any orphan people who claim to be orphan tell you that it was a piece of cake. It's not, and it still isn't. Um, but this video is gonna be about not the benefits, but what orphaned magical practitioners, what what they have that other people with parents, don't have. So right off the bat, people who um, have been orphaned, me, like at a young age, we know what loss is. Like we had to learn it the hard way at a very young age. I know, like the partially why I'm so empathetic is because a lot of these lessons that people learn when they're like in their 50s or their 40s or whatever, I learned when I was 6 months old. I learned when I was a baby, like 6 years old. 6 months and 6 years. My dad left when I was 6 years old, like 6, 7. My mom, she died when I was real young. Like now, I wasn't even a year old. She, you know, that she left me for another life somewhere else, uh, not on this planet. She died. Um, so because of that, magical practitioners aren't afraid of death. Another perk. Put that in quotes. I'm not afraid to die. I don't find it scary. I don't find it problematic. I don't find it bad. Death is death. Even as a kid, like I knew, like I think a teacher asked, like, oh, like we're talking about the concept of death and how it's scary and how many you were scared of it, and I didn't raise my hand, and then they found it odd, and I was like, because my parents, my mom died, so I know it's gonna happen, and as like a little elementary schooler, that was like something that not even an adult can admit to. Like not even an adult can express like concept within like within those like ranges. Like people still are flabbergasted or confused by death. So me personally, I'm not. Me and death, we go way back. um, Another thing about magical practitioners is they don't judge. The orphaned ones, they don't judge. I'm not gonna just make a blanket statement and say that all orphaned magical practitioners don't judge. I'm just gonna say most of them do because they know, like they've been judged their whole life. About every little action that they take, and you're like, oh, it's because they're orphaned, or that's why they're like that. It's because they didn't have a mom to hold them, or da 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 da. We've been judged like as soon as people look at us, they're like, wow, judge. So we know how it feels to be judged. Therefore, we don't put that same judgment on others. Which why? Like you shouldn't judge. Like stop. Yeah, another thing I should write down things. I'm just going off the top of my head. But another thing is like extremely empathetic people who have lost parents at a very young age. Their empathy is about 100 times greater than a regular empath because we had to learn to navigate this world by viewing it from that lens and that lens alone, having to fill out the room, fill out the person, especially those of us who grew up in foster care. We had to learn that technique at a very young age, the technique I'm talking about is the technique of empathy. But yeah, it's very sad. You know, a lot of us, we walk around, we walk this road alone. A lot of the lessons that we learned, we had to learn. For me personally, I learned a lot of my lessons from reading. Reading was my most favorite thing in the whole wide world, still is. I don't read as much as I did, but as a child, the only truth I could find was within a book, within an encyclopedia, within a dictionary, within the library. To say that was the only truth I knew. That's the only place I knew that wouldn't lie to me, wouldn't set me up for failure, was the library. So yeah, a lot of orphans learn differently, or they find other ways or other sources to get that information, since the original source, parents, are gone. So how are we going to learn about life? We got to go out and research it ourselves. Point blank period. But yeah, that's about it. It's kind of like a little gist about what it's like to be orphaned / being an orphan practitioner. But I hope somebody got something out of this vid. I don't know why I was inspired to talk about it today. But anyway, hope you guys stay cool. Don't cause any trouble.